upon us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness hast appointed the office of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of men and women, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in these islands. Let thy blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of these islands and those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. And this we beg for Jesus Christ his sake. Amen. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen. Thank you. Okay. 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 We have confirmation of the minutes for minutes of May 9th, the minutes of May 12th, and the minutes of May 14th. Does anyone have any objection to these minutes? Okay, there being none, they're approved. Messages from the governor, there are none. Announcement by the speaker or member presiding. The speaker, as you all know, is absent. The premier may likely be absent for part of the day. He's attempting to be back. Member Ming is absent for today. Member De Silva is absent for today. There are no other apologies. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Papers and communications to the House, there are none. Petitions, there are none. Statements by ministers and junior ministers. We have two statements. I call on the Minister of Cabinet Office to present his first statement, his only statement.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, this government recognizes the critical role that a robust and skilled information technology workforce plays in the future prosperity of Bermuda. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, the demand for experienced IT professionals is significant. And like many jurisdictions, Bermuda has faced challenges in recruiting and retaining this vital talent. Competition to attract and retain knowledgeable and qualified professionals is fierce. Bermuda competes not only in local circles for this talent, but also globally. Madam Acting Speaker, to proactively address this need and cultivate a pipeline of Bermudian expertise in this crucial sector, I am pleased to announce an exciting new initiative, the Information Technology Development Program, or ITDP. This comprehensive 3-year apprenticeship program, led by the Department of Information and Digital Technologies, IDT, is strategically designed to equip Bermudians with diverse technical and essential soft skills needed to excel in today's IT environment. Madam Acting Speaker, the initiative began in February of this year with 2 candidates selected with the assistance and guidance of the Department of Workforce Development. A third apprentice was identified in April and brought into the program immediately. The ITDP offers apprentices a unique and immersive learning experience. Madam Acting Speaker, during the program, each apprentice will complete rotations of at least 3 months across 10 key areas within IDT. This extensive exposure will provide a well-rounded understanding of the multifaceted nature of government IT operations. These core areas include service desk, gaining foundational skills in user support and issue resolution; devices, developing expertise in hardware management and maintenance; networking, understanding the architecture and operation of critical network infrastructure. Infrastructure, VMware and iSeries, acquiring knowledge in server virtualization and core business systems. Project management, learning the principles and practices of successful IT project delivery. Unified communications, understanding and supporting modern communications technologies. Portals, gaining insight on the development and maintenance of online government platforms. Administration, developing essential organizational and support skills. Business services, understanding the alignment of IT with broader government objectives. And digital services, exploring the development and delivery of citizen-centric digital solutions. Madam Acting Speaker, to ensure practical application and reinforce learning, apprentices undertake a capstone project at the end of each rotation. This provides a valuable opportunity for them to demonstrate their acquired knowledge and contribute meaningfully to IDT's ongoing work. The ITDP represents a significant investment in the future of Bermuda and its people. By providing comprehensive training and hands-on experience, we are addressing immediate needs for skilled IT professionals within government and creating pathways for rewarding and sustainable careers for Bermudians. Madam Acting Speaker, this program underscores this government's commitment to digital transformation and empowering Bermudians to participate fully in the opportunities of the digital age. We are confident that the IT development program will cultivate a new generation of talented IT professionals who will contribute significantly to our public services efficiency, security, and innovation. Now, Madam Acting Speaker, please allow me a few minutes to read from participants' submitted testimonies. From Kyla. My experience working in the Department of IDT and specifically the portal team has been extremely eye-opening. Going into this program as an apprentice, I had a few goals, but one stood out more than others. I was hoping to be exposed to the versatility of working in IT and all the opportunities that it held beyond what I can imagine. I can wholeheartedly say that goal has been fulfilled. I will be leaving this apprenticeship with more knowledge of my opportunities as well as a clear direction for where I want to take my career. And from Amari, it has been great to be involved in this program and work in an exciting field with amazing challenges. The entire IDT staff has been supportive and helpful throughout my entire time here, from the people I've worked closely with to others who I only passed by. I've thoroughly enjoyed the work I've been doing and find this job a perfect fit for me. On top of gaining valuable work experience, I've been learning nonstop about technical and non-technical work, such as public service and user support. I very much look forward to the coming weeks. Madam Acting Speaker, we look forward to continuing to recognize the accomplishment of our first cohort of apprentices as they advance through the program and to welcome the next cohort in due course. I would like to thank the Acting Chief Information Officer, Ms. Gina Benjamin, and her team for their outstanding efforts in bringing this program to fruition. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. I call on the Minister from Youth, Social Development, and Seniors. Minister.
Good morning, Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased to rise this morning to inform honorable members of this House and the public about the Out of School program Adventure Days 2025, which is being organized by the Office of Youth Affairs and is a complement to our government-run summer programs for children. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the Office of Youth Affairs, OTOYA, remains committed to empowering our young people, their families, and our community, which is reflected in the various program offerings that are designed and planned. The programs, whether held before school, after school, or during the school breaks, are available for all youth ages 4 to 12 years old. Mr. Deputy Speaker, these specific programs have been accredited through the Bermuda National Standards Committee and for more than 30 years supporting parents and guardians by providing activities and safe spaces facilitated by TOYA's program workers who are dedicated to the development of our youth. All program workers are SCARS and CPR certified and SunSmart trained. The program workers who will be operating the out-of-school program are currently participating in training to update their skills and knowledge in preparation for the start of the upcoming Adventure Days 2025 program. Mr. Deputy Speaker, although the Out of School Adventure Days 2025 program has been promoted in the media and on Toya's social media platforms, such as Instagram, Toya BDA, I just wanted to ensure parents and guardians are aware of the availability of this engaging program. Adventure Days 2025 is designed specifically for children who have completed preschool to primary 6, providing them with an enriching, fun, and safe environment to explore, learn, and interact with their peers. Mr. Deputy Speaker, this program will operate from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 5 weeks, commencing Monday, June 30th, and concluding on Friday, August 1st, 2025. The Out of School Adventure Days 2025 program will be offered at our 2 community centers operated by Toya at the Western Zone Community Center, located at 13 Kitchens Road, Sandys, and the Eastern Zone Community Center at 6 Old Military Road, St. George's. The Western Zone Community Center has capacity for 36, while 48 children can be accommodated at the Eastern Zone Community Center. Ms. Deputy Speaker, the cost of the Out of School program is $60 per week, or 2 service vouchers, which can be purchased at any post office. To reserve a space for a child, the program parents and guardians must pay the $60 for the first week during online registration at ospbermuda.bm. Ms. Deputy Speaker, the Out of School Adventure Days program will provide engaging and educational activities that align with the 8 goals outlined in the National Youth Policy. The activities have already been creatively developed around weekly themes such as Treasure Island, Life is a Beach, Bermuda Shorts, and Splash into Cup Match. These weekly themes aim to encourage our youth to have an appreciation for Bermuda's local culture and environmental awareness. The themes also promote teamwork and creativity of our youth while fostering their personal growth and social skills through unique experiences. Adventure Days 2025 ensures young people will leave the program at the end of the 5 weeks with not just memorable experiences, but with an enhancement of their personal skills and knowledge that will last a lifetime. Ms. Deputy Speaker, some of the personal skills and knowledge our youth will acquire are learning how to tie basic knots, an essential skill for an aspiring sailor, making local flavored ice cream, engaging in interactive sessions highlighting the importance of marine conservation and Bermuda unique marine environment, having group discussions focused on the importance of communication, respect when interacting with peers, and engaging in cultural discussions about the history and significance of Cup Match. Ms. Deputy Speaker, highlighting both the Somerset and St. George Cup Match teams. Ms. Deputy Speaker, the online registration for the Out of School Adventure Days program opened this morning, and I encourage parents and guardians to register their children soon for this one-of-a-kind school experience. Spaces are limited if they're not gone already because it is past 9 o'clock. Thank you, Ms. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. That brings us to reports of committees. There are none. Question period. No member indicated that they wanted to ask questions, so there is no question period today. Congratulatory and/or obituary comments. I recognize the member from constituency 25. Member, you have the floor.
Good morning, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you. I would like to congratulate all the graduates at the Bermuda College and commend them on their educational journey. Those who know me know I'm a big fan of higher education, and I wish them continued further success. I would also like to send my condolences to the family of Mina Scott, particularly her her sons, Arwayne and her daughter Gina, and Arwayne Scott, as many of you know, is a former MP from this chamber. So I send my condolences to them. Thank you.
Thank you, member. Does anyone else wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 13. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, I would like to join in with the congratulations to the nearly 100 graduates that walked across the stage at the Bermuda College. It was, I will add, it was the new president, Dr. Sam. It was the new president, Dr. Sam's first graduation ceremony, and he certainly did make it a memorable one. For the first time that I can remember, I observed our president leaving the stage to walk down and walk amongst the students and actually call them out by name and actually get them stand up to raucous applause. And so it was really a different feel to this year, and it just felt just a little bit. It was just different. It was just different the way it felt. It was an emotional as well. There are 2 students who graduated posthumously. I think that's how you say it. And that's the first time I had seen that as well. Those students had gone before, had satisfied all the criteria for graduation, but unfortunately lost their lives before they were able to cross the stage. In addition to that, Madam Acting Speaker, the PACE department of the Bermuda College also holds their graduation after the graduation. So some people don't hang around, but I did hang around to see that. And they had nearly 234 graduates that went through the paces through that. It was particularly rewarding to hear that the most popular course this year for India PACE department was the AI course. And so we do have persons of all ages now embracing this technology and going up there and learning more about it. And so congratulations to those 234 students as well that got certificates yesterday.
Thank you, Minister. Does anyone else wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 4. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. You brought tears to my eyes, Minister Diallo, in regards to the congratulatory remarks for the Bermuda College graduates, particularly Dimitri Edwards, who had passed. And I just want to thank Bermuda College for acknowledging that, but I also want to also acknowledge the graduates of, all the Bermuda College graduates. I want to be associated with that. And then also the graduates of our Toya program, our supervisors in the out-of-school programs participated in a management course with the Bermuda College, and they received certificates. Renee James, Jamari Smith, Janai Williams, Capri Dill graduated yesterday with the American Management Association Management and Supervision certification. So congratulations to you. I also want to congratulate, I don't know if we did it in the House already, but MP Leroy Bean, who received a degree. Is he stepped out? Just want to send congratulations to him. If he was here, I'm sure he would tell us what that degree was, but congratulations to you. I want to send condolences for one of my constituents, Mr. Alexander Livingston Douglas, known as Timmy, from the Harlem Heights area. Wanting to send condolences to his family, his children, his wife, and just to let them know that we are thinking of them. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 20. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, we have all now heard about the very sad passing of Councillor Larry Scott. And I'm sure the House would be enjoined in condolences to his family. Larry and I had a great relationship over the years, had many robust discussions politically, and would often meet at Burmese Cuisine over coffee and chat. But I became very acquainted with Larry during my time as minister responsible for municipalities, when Larry was a source of great advice, counsel, and you'll have seen remarks in the paper as well from the Corporation of Hamilton, where the mayor and his other colleagues also said very similar things. Obviously, thank you. Obviously, his brother Randy has been in the house assisting over the last while, and I'm sure Michael as well is devastated. I didn't know the rest of his family. I'm sure others did know his family very well, but it's a sad day. He had a wonderful career as an attorney, and also sat in another place, I think from 93 to 97. And was a well-respected member in another place many years ago. So again, condolences to his family, and he will be greatly missed. Associate the whole house. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 22.
Thank
21.
you, Madam Acting Speaker. I would like to convey formal condolences to the family of Wayne Cromwell Simmons. I attended his funeral yesterday, and I also note that the Honorable Attorney General, who sits in another place, was also at the funeral. I would like to express my sadness to his wife Antoinette, his son Samuel, and his daughter Winnie. He was a lovely, lovely man and died far too soon. He was not even 60. And those who know him know he was a great lover of dogs. He was, in fact, a trainer of dogs. And loved all things dogs and had dogs everywhere, as I understand it from many of the tributes that were given. He is a resident in Somerset. I believe he is a resident of the Speaker, and I know that he was very close with the Speaker, and I'm sure the Speaker would wish to be associated with my observation, as would the Attorney General. If I could also just add a quick word on the passing of the former Senator Larry Scott. I knew Larry also, well, everyone knew Larry. But I also knew him in a professional capacity, and I had the pleasure of working with him, alongside him. We were on the same team, as it were, albeit for different parties in a case. And he was a pleasure and a joy, and he managed to approach the world with a cheerful sense of keeping everything in perspective. And sometimes in that profession, the strains of work can bear down on you, but not with Larry. He was always smiling, always happy, and approach. And I see a nod from the Minister, Kim Wilson, across the aisle, who, of course, is also a learned counsel, but just a lovely, lovely man. And I personally will miss him. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 2. Member, you have the floor.
Yes, good morning, Madam Acting Speaker. I would like to be associated with the condolences to family member Larry Scott from Somerset, who was one of those many former Southampton Glebe, now Dalton E. Tucker students that served in the legislature. Larry served in the other place, and aspired to get here in Sand South, a constituency that I once ran in as well. Following me, I think he ran maybe in the 80s and early 90s. I remember him being the executive director of the United Bermuda Party. And I remember him being a very outspoken critic throughout the years. But fondly, I know his family, and we're part of that St. Kitts connection. And I know he'll be sadly missed, particularly by his siblings. I'd also like to condolences to be sent and acknowledged to the family of the late Dennis Medeiros, who hasn't been living here, but he comes from, as we knew, it's Cedar Hill, Southampton, Granaway Heights, Coral Acres community. I grew up running in and out of his parents' house, the late Emery Medeiros Sr., and his mother, and his brother Emery Jr., who now lives in Boston, sent me a message that Dennis had passed away overseas. That family was a prolific cricketing family associated with BAA and footballing family as well, but an entrepreneurial family. His brother would have run Lines supermarket up there in Ord Road and the likes, where his parents worked for him. I'm going back to the late 60s, early 70s now, Madam Acting Speaker. Those are my condolences for today.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the minister from constituency 15. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, and good morning, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, I'd like to rise this morning to offer congratulations to one of our public secondary schools, Cedar Bridge Academy. I had the opportunity to attend Cedar Bridge Academy yesterday in celebration of their Multicultural Day. And it was fitting, as I did say in my remarks, that they're holding their Multicultural Day during Heritage Month. And as we are preparing for Heritage Day, which is 1 week from today. And I just want to send congratulations to, first and foremost, the principal, Mr. Kenneth Caesar, also the deputy principal, Ms. Natasha Thomas, who actually pulled this together. They had an excellent display from Mr. Shawande Butterfield. Many of you will know from H&H Gombe Group. Shawande has been around to many schools recently, giving history and a historical account of the Gombe tradition here in Bermuda and what the intricate details of the Gombe costume, their steps, and their rituals actually mean. They also had the Filipino Association, the staff had a full lunch celebrating the different cultures that are there actually at Cedar Bridge Academy. As you would know, as a former educator yourself, Madam Acting Speaker, that our school systems are full of educators from many different parts of the world. So it was good. I did have a chance to have a nibble at some of that lunch before going in for that. So I wanted to start there and congratulate all of them, because not only did they put it on, but you can see the enthusiasm of the teachers to share their dishes and the cultural dress that they were in, and the enthusiasm of the students to actually take part in it. I'm not sure if they were really, really interested in culture, or they just were happy to have a couple of moments out of the classroom. But as you would know, Madam Acting Speaker, I did start my career, my professional career as an educator at Cedar Bridge Academy many, many years ago. And it was really, really rewarding to get back and to see that culture and social studies is still alive and well at that institution. So I just want to say that. On a sporting front, I want to go back a couple of weeks and congratulate one of our national sports governing bodies, the Bermuda Squash Association. They held their Squash Bermuda Open Championship a couple of weeks ago. And I want to congratulate the president, the organizers at the Bermuda Squash Club for putting it on and hosting. I also want to congratulate a local company, IQ, that sponsored this and brought in many squash players from around the world. So I was happy to attend. My son now has keep asking me, Daddy, when can I play squash? So we can tell it was successful. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Just on the bow. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 12. Member, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to be associated with the remarks concerning the passing of Larry Scott. I had the opportunity many times to have political debates with him and was part of a group, and still part of a group, that meets on a regular basis. And he would always send messages about what he thought where Bermuda should have, the direction it should have gone. And it was quite amazing. You know, he held this middle ground there. You know, you weren't quite sure, you know, you didn't want to assume that he was PLP just because. So he always held this very objective approach to things. And I really, really appreciated about that. And it is sad to see that he has passed on, and to the family, honorable members, his brother and the likes, condolences there. I'd also like to give condolences to a good friend. It's been a while now, 2 weeks, but Leslie Holder, Senior. I just didn't know he had passed. And that's going to be another big funeral at the Adventist Church. Quite frankly, he was an educator as well, two well-known sons. And so to the family, I'd like to just give my condolences to his two sons and his wife in passing. Thank you.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 9. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I'd like to send out congratulatory remarks to Shaquita Parsons with no S, and she went 50 yesterday. She's an educator. She's not in the classroom right now, but I believe she is still having an extreme influence on education in Bermuda.
she also was a star on the soccer pitch in the Women's Football League, playing for what was known then as Rude Girls, Devonshire Rec, so, but she's a rising star off the pitch for soccer as well in the CONCACAF region in particular, and also is getting noticed by FIFA. So congratulations to her. She's a former constituent of mine and a friend. So congratulations to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, member.
So we like to associate the entire house with that. I think most people in here know her or know of her.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you.
Speaker.
Thank you, member. Are there any other persons who wish to speak? There being none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that approved by members? Yes.
Good morning, honorable members, and to the listening public. We are now in Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2025, 2026. And this morning's first debate will be on the Ministry of Education. And the former Minister of Education, now present Minister of Cabinet Office, Honorable Diallo Rabin, shall give his brief. Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, I move following heads: 16, Ministry of Education Headquarters; 17, Department of Education; and 41, Bermuda College, now be taken under consideration.
You may proceed, Minister.
Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Senator, the Honorable Crystal C. Caesar, JP, Minister of Education, I will now present the budget for the Ministry of Education, which comprises of Ministry Headquarters, Head 16, Department of Education, Head 17, and Bermuda College, Head 41. Following a change in ministerial portfolios as a result of the 2025 general election, the Department of Libraries and Archives, Head 18, now rests with the Cabinet Office. Mr. Chairman, the 25-26 budget for the Ministry of Education is $149,190,621 and is found on page B133 of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2026. This represents an increase of $9,849,120,000. The current account 25-26 estimated revenue for the Ministry of Education is $248,000. This budget represents the cost of running and funding the existing public education system while simultaneously investing in the transformation for the present and the future. Mr. Chairman, the capital expenditure estimates for acquisition and development increased from $7,000,000 $888,000 to $8,187,953 in 25-26. The number of full-time equivalents for the ministry has increased by 35 from 1,053 to 1,088 employees working across heads 16 and 17. Mr. Chairman, almost half the increase of the overall budget is primarily due to the recently finalized union negotiated pay uplifts. These necessary adjustments, which resulted in a $4.567 million increase from the initial budget, underscore our commitment to fair compensation for educators, paraeducators, and all of our staff members. Mr. Speaker, moments ago, I referred to changes in ministerial portfolios following the 25 general election. While ministers have changed, the government and the government's priorities to transform the public education system for children and families remains the same. And while education reform is the government's highest education priority, there are also others. The following remarks will detail the continuing commitment to education reform and other investments being made not only to public education, but to post-secondary and continuous learning via Bermuda College and scholarships and awards. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to begin the budget speech today by detailing the expenditure of the ministry headquarters, Head 16.
You may proceed, Minister.
The mission of the ministry headquarters, which is found on B-134, is to provide strategic leadership and policy direction for education and lifelong learning. The objectives of the ministry headquarters have been outlined accordingly on the same page. Today, we will focus primarily on government's commitment regarding 1, education reform, and 2, expansion of funding for post-secondary scholarships and awards, either directly to students via scholarships or through existing programs such as the College Promise. Mr. Chairman, the hard and focused work to reform our education system continues to be led by the Education Reform Unit under the direction of the Minister of Education and Permanent Secretary. Education reform is a broad, complex, strategic, and operational multi-year transformation agenda. Progress comes as a result of the efforts of the ERU and the collaboration between the Department of Education, school, educators, support staff, other ministries and departments, learning partners, and other community volunteers, all of whom share the common aim of transforming the public education system to meet the needs, interests, and aspirations of every child. Mr. Chairman, while there are many areas to acknowledge and celebrate, I would like to highlight but 3 successes at this time, noting that more information on the delivery of education reform at the school level will be provided under Department of Education Head 17. The first success to speak of our learning partnerships, which provide students with opportunities to engage in real-world, hands-on, applied learning experiences that help them to develop industry-specific knowledge and skills. In many ways, these are modern advancements of work release programs of our day and are only possible because of caring and willing individuals, companies, and organizations have stepped forward and stepped up to invest in young people and Bermuda's future economy. By co-designing projects, mentoring students, and offering hands-on experiences, they help young people to experience and see the relevance of their education and discovery of future pathways. The participation of learning partners sends a powerful message. Education is also a community responsibility. And when the whole community invests in the growth of and potential of our students, we not only raise achievement, we also can build a stronger, more connected Bermuda. The ERU co-designed a memorandum of understanding to develop learning partnerships with the BPSS that contribute to teaching and learning in all schools. To date, this has culminated in 14 signed MOUs serving Cedar Bridge Academy, the Barclay Institute, and our 3rd signature school, Sands Secondary Middle School. To date, learning partners have supported signature discovery and signature immersion fairs or taster programs, lunch and learns, co-teaching, curriculum co-design, professional learning, and real-world co-design and delivery. Learning partnerships have also helped motivate teachers and improve teaching by providing continued professional learning experiences for educators. In the coming months of the new fiscal year, the Signature Taster Program will continue to engage and motivate Year 7 learners to chart their future career journeys. A framework will also be co-designed with school leaders to support experiential learning for Year 12 and Year 13. This model will support learners through potential employment contracts, work placement, and internships. In order to ensure sustainability of the Learning Partnership Program efforts, are continuously underway to attract and sign new participants. Many learning partners have found the experience to be deeply rewarding, and anyone interested in being a part of this program should contact the ERU for information on how to get involved. Mr. Chairman, I would now like to bring attention to completed and ongoing capital works and investments in our school under education reform. It should be noted that minor works, including those for education reform, fall under the Department of Education. Mr. Chairman, as many of us who have had involvement with any aspect of construction know, capital works are challenging and often affected by unknown and unpredictable factors. However, with much effort, attention, and collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works, we have expanded and improved built learning environments for better curriculum delivery and learning experiences for our students. I would now like to provide an overview of the works undertaken in 24-25 and is planned for 25-26. Noting that major work started in the current fiscal year will be phased in over time. At Purvis Primary Parish School in 24-26, the new building containing Year 7 and Year 8 classrooms was completed. Each classroom was fitted out to support new curriculum and approaches to teaching and learning. The library and resource center was also refurbished. In 25-26, the admin area will be relocated to create appropriate spaces for school counselors to work and provide services to students. Furniture and equipment in classrooms and other learning environments will continue to be upgraded. For the Francis Patton Parish Primary School 24-25, the new building to house Year 2 students was completed and was also fitted out to support new curriculum and new approaches to teaching and learning. 25-26, furniture and equipment in classrooms and other learning environments will continue to be upgraded. At Elliott Primary School in 24-25, planning took place to identify critical requirements for its opening in September 25 as a parish school. In 25-26, storage rooms will be transformed into working spaces for school counselors and multiple teacher workstations. Changes will also be made to several classrooms to improve learning environments for STEM and other subject areas. A lower school book room will also be created and staff room upgraded. At Harrington Sound Primary School in 24-25, planning took place to identify critical requirements for opening in parish in September 2025 as a parish school. In 25-26, renovations will include converting the principal's office into a new classroom, relocating the principal and secretary's office to the ground floor, transforming a large storage area into a counselor's office. Minor works will also open up spaces for teachers' offices. Public Works will also investigate the need for new air conditioning, and efforts will be considered to increase parking at the school. Mr. Chairman, changes to facilities are in process and will be phased in over time at Sands Secondary Middle School, which will open as a senior signature school in September 2025. In 24-25, preparations were made for 3 major project works. Progress is steadily being made towards redeveloping and refurbishing the old library to create a new library and media center equipped with integrated cutting-edge technology. Learners will be provided with a dynamic and immersive learning environment to foster information, media, and digital literacy. It will also serve as a specialist training facility for the Education Services Signature Learning Program. The reception area for the school will also be redeveloped and refurbished to double as Bermudian-style hotel foyer and serve as a real-world learning environment for students in the Hospitality and Tourism Signature Learning Program. Finally, the cafeteria will be renovated to double as a modern, flexible learning space for students to work individually and in small groups. Mr. Chairman, continuing with education reform, I'd like to provide a brief update on the introduction of the Education Authority. I would be remiss if, on behalf of the Minister of Education, I did not first thank Mr. Philip Butterfield, who led the Education Authority Working Group, EAWG, tasked with submitting specific recommendations for an education authority. As the chair of Bermuda First, Mr. Butterfield was instrumental in recommending that an education authority be established and getting it onto the national agenda. His commitment to shaping the future of public education was demonstrated again and again as he led the EAWG with focus and purpose. With diligence and fidelity to the government's promise, the EAWG produced detailed policy recommendations for an education authority, which provided a critical resource for the forthcoming legislation. Although the timeline to bring forth the legislation has been longer than anticipated, it is still a major priority under education reform. The time and effort invested during unforeseen delays will help produce sound legislation that will meet the vision and requirements for the future governance of the public education system. This work is being advanced to ensure a phased and measured approach to the development of this legislation. In that vein, the minister has committed to stakeholders that they will be informed and engaged with views considered before legislation is tabled. Mr. Chairman, before I turn to post-secondary funding, including scholarships and awards, I'd like to make a few more comments on education reform. The first flows from the knowledge and experience that change and transformation are not easy. In fact, to be more explicit, it can be messy, challenging, and exhausting, not only for those in leadership and support roles, but for the beneficiaries. There are always lessons to learn, and there have been many learning curves, some which resulted in immediate shifts, some that were much more difficult to handle. Going forward, the ministry will work to strengthen successes and apply learned lessons for continuous improvement of education reform. The health of the education reform program and project will be tracked by embedding key performance indicators in all work streams to monitor progress of stated scope of works and measure the return on public investment. The result will be made public in line with transparency and accountability for the expenditure of public funds. Earlier and ongoing work will be augmented by the development of a supporting financial plan and infrastructure plan to ensure that all planning for education reform is coherent, transparent, and sustainable in the medium and long term. 1601 General. Mr. Chairman, I'll now turn to page B134, where you'll see that the Ministry of Education headquarters has been allocated a budget of $7,515,152 for 25-26 fiscal year. Within the business unit 26000 General Admin, $1,100,616 will support the operational and administrative functions of the ministry. Mr. Chairman, under business unit 26140, $3,924,511 represents operational expenses for the education reform unit, which includes $761,442 for general office operations and supplies, and approximately $3.2 million for consultants for media and other professional support services for professional learning, meetings and events, and professional technical services required for systems and school building infrastructure changes that forms part of education reform. Of the $3.2 million, $1.9 million is set aside for the innovation unit's consulting contract, additional funding for anticipated consultancy for the next phases of the reform process. The contract with innovation unit will, for the time being, provide guidance and support and direction during the change process, and the Ministry of Education will transition away from overseas consultants who have future education reform work carried out locally. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 26080 increased to $725,000. These funds are allocated to the Bermuda College Promise Merit Award Program and external grants such as the Reading Clinic, WinReach, and the Mewen Foundation. Mr. Chairman, $1,765,025 has been set aside for Business Unit 26090. This business unit manages the administration of the ministry's annual scholarship and awards program, which supports students in their pursuit of tertiary level education. Mr. Chairman, these awards are in place to improve Bermudians' access to education and training beyond senior school, as most of the scholarships and awards have a financial need criteria. Most recipients would have had difficulty realizing their post-education awards if not for scholarship funding. Our scholarships and awards give countless opportunities for students to help them achieve academic career success for the benefits of our economy and community, the individual growth and development of recipients. Mr. Chairman, last year, the ministry received a total of 559 student application submissions. This is a decrease of 79 applications compared to the 638 received the previous year, when we provided funding for 84 students across 10 different scholarships and awards. Mr. Chairman, I would now like to share specific outcomes of past scholarship award recipients. The 2022 non-traditional student awardee received a scholarship of $20,000 for up to 4 years to study at the Toronto Metropolitan University. The student has recently graduated with a bachelor's degree in human resource management. Mr. Chairman, further, the 2022 Bermuda Government Scholarship recipient was awarded a $35,000 scholarship for up to 4 years to study at Northeastern University. He has since graduated from the program and obtained a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering. Mr. Chairman, on page B135, the subjective analysis of current account estimates is shown for the Ministry of Education headquarters. Line 1, salaries stand at $677,000 and show a minimal increase of $33,000 when compared to 24-25. Mr. Chairman, this year, $45,000 has been budgeted for transportation. This was a new expenditure for the ministry in 24-25, with modest increase of only $1,000 from the budget year 25-26. The transport is for students to and from signature learning programs, taster events where students get exposure to details of all signature learning programs available to them. Mr. Chairman, the travel expenditure line item of $97,000 increased by $3,000 due to travel expenditure for education reform. These funds, the attendance at conferences and engaging other jurisdictions that have implemented education reforms. Expenditure for grants and contributions increased by $315,000. The full breakdown of the $2,453,000 budgeted for grants and contributions can be found on page C18 of the budget book. Mr. Chairman, $378,000 has been budgeted for professional services. This deflects a decrease of $307,000 for consultancy services previously provided to the Education Reform Unit. Mr. Chairman, on page B135, the number of full-time equivalents or employees in the Ministry of Education headquarters remains the same as last year at 6 FTEs and funds all posts except the permanent secretary. Mr. Chairman, finally, on page B136, performance measures for the ministry headquarters. The ministry headquarters are outlined. The targeted outcomes for last year were either achieved or in the process of being completed. I would like to highlight the performance measures for Business Unit 26080 grants for external bodies, as all grant applications to recipients were processed by the target date of July 31st, and all grant financials and stated outcomes were reviewed by March 31st. For Business Unit 26090 Scholarships and Awards, the Scholarships and Awards Committee made recommendations for recipients to the minister by the deadline of July 31st, and Ministry HQ assured that scholarship funds were dispersed by October 31st of last year. Mr. Chairman, the ministry team comprises of the permanent secretary, senior policy analyst, ministry controller, scholarship and awards program manager, trainee policy analyst, the administrative assistant, accounts officer, the executive assistant to the minister. Mr. Chairman, each team member has contributed to the success of the ministry's work programs, and I thank the ministry headquarters, the Education Reform Unit team, and the working groups for their continued support and diligence. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This concludes my presentation of the budget for Head 16, Ministry Headquarters, and I'll now move to Head 17, the Department of Education. Mr. Chairman, I now present the budget for Head 17, Department of Education. Mr. Chairman, the primary purpose of the Department of Education is to establish, maintain, and advance high-quality education systems that foster the intellectual, social, and emotional development of all students. The department is also responsible for setting educational standards, developing policies, and ensuring that schools operate efficiently and equitably. The department works to promote access to education, support professional development for educators, and allocate resources effectively to meet the diverse needs of learners by overseeing curriculum development, enforcing compliance with educational laws, and ensuring innovation. The Department of Education plays a critical role in preparing students to contribute meaningfully to society and economy. Mr. Chairman, at the heart of the work for Head 17 is clear and inspiring vision to build an education system where all young people are educated to lead personally and professionally, compete locally, and contribute globally. This vision is grounded in the mission to provide every student with an equitable access to holistic, high-quality instruction, which is culturally relevant and empowers them to reach their full potential. To actualize this vision, the department has 5 strategic priorities: increasing academic rigor and student engagement, ensuring career, college, and workforce readiness, enhancing the quality of teacher practice and system leadership, improving infrastructure and instructional resources, and ensuring system success. Mr. Chairman, as shown on page B140, the Department of Education has been allocated $126.1 million for fiscal year 25-26, an increase of $8.59 million over last year's budget. 1701 Central Administration. Mr. Chairman, the upcoming budget for Business Unit 27000 General Administration will provide for the purchase of educational and office supplies needed throughout the school year. For fiscal year 25-26, expenses are planned to increase by $95,000. 27001 Office of the Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, the Office of the Commissioner, which includes the Commissioner of Education, Director of Academics, Director of Educational Standards and Accountability, and an Administrative Assistant, have been allocated $821,000, an increase of $136,000. The Office of the Commissioner provides strategic leadership and oversight for the Bermuda School System, BPSS, and is responsible for setting educational direction, ensure policy compliance, maintaining standards, implementing reform initiatives, allocating resources, and driving continuous improvement. The executive leadership, consisting of the commissioner and directors, manages the operational functions of the public education system. The commissioner leads on protocols and strategy, while directors oversee the academics and standards and accountability sections. This team operates through evidence-based and collaborative decision-making to address challenges, ensure accountability, and to promote innovation to achieve system-wide educational outcomes. The Office of the Commissioner of Education also funds a communication consultant to strengthen engagement with school communities. Over the past year, the consultant has led several initiatives, including the development of a media relations strategy proposal, analysis of staff feedback on staff processes, and the launch of the first annual BPSS Communications Performance Survey. 27030 Human Resources. Mr. Chairman, this business unit, Human Resources, has been allocated a total of $655,000 to fund salaries of administrative staff, for expenses to advertise and recruit staff, and for the provision of the annual long service awards to teachers and other employees who are members of the Bermuda Union of Teachers. Mr. Chairman, this year, the staff development budget has increased to $782,000. This funding supports the salaries of 4 mentor teachers, the addition of staff development officers, and enables a range of local and overseas training and professional development activities to take place during the fiscal year. Mr. Chairman, in alignment with the government's priority to develop the capacity of employees, extensive, varied, and personalized online and in-person professional development and learning took place throughout the current fiscal year. These sessions were delivered by Department of Education officers, mentor teachers, school principals, instructional leaders, the ERU staff, and local and overseas trainers and facilitators. 27090 Educational Standards and Accountability. Mr. Chairman, the funds allocated to this business unit is $1,011,000, with an increase of $335,000 over last year's budget. Mr. Chairman, the Educational Standards and Accountability plays a pivotal role in overseeing the quality and performance of school leaders and teaching staff at 15 primary schools, 2 parish schools, 3 middle schools, and 2 senior schools. During the current fiscal year, the ESA team was led by 1 interim director and 1 assistant director who focused their efforts on supporting primary, parish, middle, and senior school leaders and education reform efforts. The assistant director was also provided support and guidance to parish school leaders and transformation teams for the Purvis Primary Parish School, Francis Patton Parish School, Elliott Primary School, and Harrington Sound Primary Schools, and direct supervision and support of the department's team of 4 mentor teachers. Mr. Chairman, all efforts undertaken by the ESA team have the ultimate aim of fostering improvement and change in instructional and leadership practices. 27095 Attendance. Mr. Chairman, the budget of the attendance unit supports the salaries for registration and attendance coordinator and 4 school attendance officers. This team assures daily school attendance compliance for children of compulsory working age, school age, by working collaboratively with school staff and parents and guardians. The attendance and registration coordinator manages the annual school registration and transfer processes for all public schools from preschool to senior school. 27160 Substitutes. Mr. Chairman, the funds allocated to this business unit is $4,466,000. Substitute teachers are essential for maintaining educational continuity at schools. They step in when regular teachers are unavailable due to illness or leave. The department employs both allocated substitutes who report to assigned schools each day and day-to-day substitutes who cover daily, short-term, long-term, and extended leave. Mr. Chairman, substitute teachers are also afforded the opportunity to engage in professional development offered by the Department of Education and Schools, and they are required to maintain requirements for a Bermuda Educators Council BEC license. Mr. Chairman, the overall budget for a Central Administration Program is $8,287,000 for the 25-26 fiscal year, which is $1,759,000 more than the previous year. The increase in funding will enable the department to secure additional substitutes to fill 2 vacant assistant director posts for educational standards and accountability and field staff development officer post. 1702 Student Services. Mr. Chairman, the Student Services Business Unit provides a comprehensive range of services and supports aimed at addressing students' academic, behavioral, psychological, physical, and socio-emotional needs to ensure their success in school and life. Funding of this unit enables critical and vital services for students, including behavioral management and alternative education, school psychology, adapted physical education, and services for students with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and hearing or vision impairments. Additionally, it provides counseling and learning support services and administrative coordination. Mr. Chairman, these programs collectively enhance students' abilities to thrive within inclusive education environments, promote positive behavioral and mental health outcomes, support personalized learning pathways, and ensure that all students, regardless of ability or background, have equitable access to the resources and opportunities needed to reach their full potential. 27061 Behavioral Management. Mr. Chairman, the funds allocated to this business unit are $1,834,000. Mr. Chairman, led by an educational officer for behavioral, this business unit provides targeted behavioral support across the school system. The education officer supervises educational therapists and educational therapist assistants in implementing individualized classroom management plans, behavioral intervention plans, functional behavioral assessments, and behavioral intervention plans. Mr. Chairman, the officer also provides support and guidance to school multi-tiered system of support, MTSS, teams, and plays a key role in multiple interagency and internal committees, including THRIC, the High Risk Intervention Committee, IGET, Interagency Gang Enforcement Team, and Psychoeducational Committee, and the Clinical Advisory Team, CAT. In addition, the officer supports students placed in alternative education settings such as care, adult education, and maintains weekly consultations with key community partners like the Department of Child and Family Services, DCFS, Child Adolescent Services, CAS, MIRRS, and the Family Center and MASC to ensure coordinated support for shared clients. Mr. Chairman, this business unit also funds educational therapists in preschools and primary schools and supports 2 alternative education programs that serve students with significant behavioral challenges, contributing to safer and more supportive learning environments. Educational therapists learned evidence-based interventions to support student regulation, examined escalation and de-escalation strategies, and developed proactive behavior support plans through case studies and role play. They have also completed the Crisis Prevention Institute, CPI, nonviolent crisis intervention. Throughout the 24-25 school year, educational therapists and assistants participated in professional development focused on trauma-informed approaches and behavior and classroom support. Mr. Chairman, the Office for Behavior, all educational therapists, and all education therapist assistants are now certified in crisis prevention. Nonviolent intervention, a notable achievement for this business unit. Additionally, 100% of the behavioral intervention plans were developed with fidelity for all students receiving services, and all behavior intervention plans and functional behavior assessments are now included in our online student management system, PowerSchool. Mr. Chairman, for the new fiscal year, the business unit will focus on recertification of staff with crisis prevention intervention and collecting evidence of direct teaching of replacement behaviors for students as we continue efforts to ensure safe learning environments for all staff and students. 27062 Success Academy. Mr. Chairman, funds allocated for this business unit are $28,000. Mr. Chairman, when a student in mainstream education has exhausted all available interventions and supports, the school can apply for that student to be placed in an alternative education setting. As part of the application process, the school is required to present the student's case, including documented supports, interventions, and outcomes to the clinical advisory team. This team carefully reviews the information and provides a recommendation. Mr. Chairman, the department currently offers 2 alternative education programs, Success Academy Program, SAPP, and Success Academy Middle and Seniors, SAMS. These academies are specifically designed to support students whose social-emotional challenges significantly interfere with their learning and the learning of others. Students admitted to the Success Academies receive targeted emotional and behavioral support, including instruction in coping strategies and self-regulation skills, along with academic programming. Once students achieve the goals outlined in admission, they transition back to a general education environment. For senior level students, SAMS offers access to recognized certification pathways, including City and Guilds and the GED and Penn Foster programs, affording students with an opportunity to complete their secondary education at the alternative placement site. Mr. Chairman, Success Academy celebrated several key accomplishments during the 24-25 academic year. A standout event was Men's Night held on April 16, 2025, which welcomed influential male figures from the community to engage with students in an evening of mentorship, inspiration, and connection. With a high student attendance and approximately 50 men in attendance, the event featured distinguished guests from our community. The event reinforced SAM's commitment to building positive relationships and community ties. 27063 School Psychology. Mr. Chairman, this year, $1,297,000 has been allocated to support this business unit, which supports psychological services for student success across academic, social, emotional, and behavioral areas. School psychologists also work closely with teachers, families, and school teams to access learning needs, provide education evaluations, and to recommend strategies and interventions to promote student growth. They also play a key role in promoting mental health, consulting with staff and families to strengthen classroom support, and developing programs that enhance school environments. In addition, school psychologists support crisis prevention and response efforts. Mr. Chairman, school psychologists are integral to the MTSS framework as they consult with school staff during school team meetings where student concerns are discussed, interventions are recommended, and progress is monitored before considering formal assessments. Mr. Chairman, this year, school psychologists presented over 30 professional development workshops to staff and parents, which included topics such as understanding and supporting students affected by trauma and stress management techniques for children, integrating greater use of digital technology in assessment practices, increased efficiency, and enabling cost savings. Mr. Chairman, the performance measures for this business unit focus on the number of referrals completed in one calendar year. Mr. Chairman, 95% of psychoeducational assessments were completed within the fiscal year against a target of 100%. In the upcoming year, school psychologists will further streamline assessment and referral forms to enhance accessibility for parents and teachers. 27064, Adapted Physical Education. Mr. Chairman, this year, total of $332,000 has been allocated to support the Adapted Physical Education, or APE program. This essential initiative is delivered by highly trained and dedicated specialist educators. These teachers play a critical role in ensuring that students with diverse physical, cognitive, and developmental needs can access and meaningfully participate in physical education activities alongside their peers. The APE teachers work closely with school staff and therapists and families to design and implement individualized modifications that are directly aligned with each student's individualized education plan, or IEP. Beyond facilitating physical participation, APE teachers, which also foster social inclusion, motor skill development, and self-confidence among students with disabilities. Their work not only supports physical education and wellness, but it also plays an integral part in the broader education and emotional development of these students. The continued investment in this program reflects our commitment to inclusive education and belief that all students deserve the opportunity to thrive in every aspect of school life, including physical education. Mr. Chairman, the APE team also organizes the annual Department of Education Adapted Physical National Track and Field Invitational in partnership with Special Olympics Bermuda. This event welcomes students from P1 to S4 with special physical needs, including those who have moved on to the K. Margaret Carter Center and other facilities. This program has been successful in identifying future Paralympians and Special Olympians. 27065, hearing. Mr. Chairman, $207,000 has been allocated to support the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. This funding supports the employment of a specialized teacher for deaf and hard of hearing. This teacher provides tailored academic instruction and works closely with classroom teachers to ensure students' needs are met effectively during regular classroom activities. 27066, Vision. Mr. Chairman, a budget of $49,000 has been dedicated to Vision program. Focusing on supporting students with visual impairments, this funding ensures the provision of specialized vision teacher for the remainder of the school year and necessary technical services materials, and accessible formats, including Braille, and technology to guarantee these students have equal access to education curricula. 27069, Gifted and Talented. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $125,000. These funds cover the cost of salary of one officer who will support activities and events that will supplement the learning experiences for students identified as gifted and talented. 27071, Office Support. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $611,000. This business unit serves as the secretariat for the Student Services section and funds the salaries of one Assistant Director of Student Services and 2 administrative assistants and 4 learning support teachers who provide services to students with special education needs. 27072, Counseling. Mr. Chairman, this fiscal year, the counseling program has been allocated $3,201,000 to support a comprehensive and developmental approach to student counseling. This program is modeled on international standards and encompasses 4 key areas: classroom guidance, individual planning, responsive services, and system support. The aim is to foster academic, personal, social, emotional, and future career successes for students, integrating preventative and developmental strategies into school educational missions. Mr. Chairman, the key achievement for 24-25 school year has been successful certification of 31 out of 39 school counselors in adolescent mental health first aid, made possible due to collaboration with the Department of Health, support from both local and international trainers. The training enhances their ability to identify early signs of mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, trauma, and suicidal ideation, and equips them to provide immediate support and connect students with professional care. This accomplishment strengthens the counseling team's capacity and demonstrates a strong commitment to student well-being and proactive mental health intervention.
Pause, please, Minister. The chair, the House would like to recognize Senator Crystal Caesar, Minister of Education, her PS, and one other lady. Welcome, ladies. Rest okay for them. Sorry, you can continue. You didn't understand that. You can continue.
Mr. Chairman, another notable achievement for the 24-25 school year was the strengthening of partnerships with local mental health service providers through professional learning days. These sessions give school counselors direct engagement with agencies such as Focus Counseling, the Coalition for Protection of Children, Department of Child and Family Services, and MASC to enhance their understanding of available services and referral processes. Mr. Chairman, for 25-26 school year, the key priority is to continue to strengthen the connection between school counselors and local mental health service providers through ongoing participation in professional learning days. These sessions are critical as students increasingly face mental health challenges such as anxiety, depression, trauma, ADHD, and other social emotional difficulties that impact their school successes. A significant concern raised by counselors is the limited availability of mental health providers on island, making it more vital for counselors to have a thorough understanding of the available services. By enhancing these connections, we can ensure students are effectively referred to the right resources, addressing their unique needs and promoting their overall well-being. 27073, Summer Program. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $18,000. These funds are used to cover the cost of summer programs at senior schools and Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy. This funding supports ongoing learning and support for students at Dame during part of the summer months. 27074, Learning Support. Mr. Chairman, this year's learning support budget of $4,465,000 supports the crucial work of 3 educational officers for special education and learning support and 38 learning support teachers. These professionals provide special education services across the education spectrum, including preschools, primary schools, middle schools, Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy, and our trauma-responsive programs at Success Academy. This budget allocation also covers essential assessment materials for accurately diagnosing students with special education needs. Mr. Chairman, during the reporting period, learning support teachers received targeted training in writing for language arts alongside the implementation of project-based learning as a core instructional strategy. Additionally, the MTSS framework was effectively utilized to support smoother transitions for students from M3 to S1, and notably 6 students successfully transitioned from more restrictive to less restrictive learning environments, marking significant progress with inclusive education practices. In the new fiscal year, learning support officers will prioritize instructional support, student accommodations, collaboration between educators and parents. Additionally, universal screening processes will be implemented for all year one students, and training will be provided to equip paraeducators with additional skills to better support teachers and reinforce student learning, especially in the core area of mathematics. 27076 early childhood education. Mr. Chairman, this early childhood education has been allocated $137,000, which reflects the funding for the salary of the education officer for early childhood education, funding for supplies to support the early childhood education program. 27079 paraprofessionals. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $7,332,000 for the upcoming fiscal year, an increase of $998,000. This increase in funding is vital to sustaining essential services provided by paraprofessionals and educational therapist assistants who are integral in the success of our students. Paraprofessionals support class instruction, promote student well-being, and ensure that students with diverse learning needs, including those with physical disabilities, hearing, or vision impairments, receive the tailored support they require to be successful. 27083 autism spectrum disorder. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has a budget of $926,000. This funding covers salaries for teachers and paraprofessionals working in ASD programs across 3 primary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 senior school, for a total of 24 ASD students at the primary school level, 6 at middle school, and 5 at senior school level. 27084 alternative education. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has a budget of $1,153,000. Mr. Chairman, this budget supports the Success Academy Middle School, SAMS, and additional alternative education placements for students who cannot be accommodated at SAMS. Mr. Chairman, Student Services section provides an extensive range of educational services for our students with exceptionalities. The total budget allocation for Student Services Program 1702 for 25-26 is $21,713,000. The performance measures for this unit indicate varying levels of success in meeting the established targets. While the goal of 100% of schools to implement MTSS with fidelity, only 90% met the criteria. Behavioral intervention plans exceeded expectations with 100% completion compared to an 80% target. The IEP process was carried out with 78% completion, slightly surpassing the 75% goal. The percentage of individual planning meetings completed by counselors was 85%, below the 90% target. On a positive note, the psychoeducational assessments exceeded the goal with 95% completed compared to the 90% target. These outcomes suggest overall strong performance with room for improvement in school-wide MTSS implementation and counselor-led planning meetings. 1703 Finance and Corporate. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 27002, Finance and Corporate Services, with an allocated budget of $798,000, is responsible for managing the financial operations of the Department of Education. The unit is staffed by a team of 10 personnel encompassing a variety of key roles essential to the effective delivery of financial services. These positions include a departmental controller, trainee departmental controller, a financial services manager, a payment supervisor, a salary supervisor, and a salaries clerk, 3 accounts clerk, and a messenger. Under the leadership of the ministry's comptroller and financial services manager, this team effectively and reliably handles the payment and salaries of over 1,000 educators and staff, processes payments to suppliers and vendors, and ensures the accurate reconciliation of leave entitlements. They are instrumental in identifying cost savings opportunities and advising on financial efficiencies to support the department's mission of educational excellence and equity. 27003 Office Accommodations. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has an allocation of $1,035,000. This funds the salary of the office receptionist and covers the cost of annual rent, office maintenance, electricity, and communication costs for the department's physical offices. 27040 Educational Stores. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $566,000, which supports salaries for 7 personnel and other expenditures such as rent, inventory, freight costs, and gas and diesel. The store section provides centralized purchasing and inventory management and distribution services to the Ministry and Department of Education, all public schools, Bermuda College, and other government departments such as the Department of Youth, Sport, and Recreation. Department of Youth. That department don't exist no more. 27041, school transport. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been allocated a budget of $508,000 to fund the salaries of 3 bus operators, 2 bus attendants whose responsibilities are to ensure the safe transport and direct supervision of students who attend Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy and from school to and from school every day. The safe transport of students in the ASD programs and other schools to and from their off-site learning activities which take place across the island, 2 groundsmen which maintain school sports fields, and 1 labor, transport, and safety officer are also funded in this budget. The labor and transport safety officer's main responsibility is to oversee and supervise the work of school custodians to ensure clean and healthy school facilities. 27042, buildings, grounds, and equipment. Mr. Chairman, for the current fiscal year, the budget allocation for the maintenance of public school buildings, grounds, and equipment is set at $1,396,000. This reflects an increase of $284,000. The funding remains vital for the department's capacity to perform essential maintenance operations across all public school facilities. This funding enables the facilities manager to uphold functionality, safety, and compliance of critical infrastructure systems, including life safety mechanisms, elevators, fire alarm systems, water dispensers, and HVAC units. Additionally, it facilitates the provision of pest control services and oversight of security arrangements at both middle schools and alternative education institutions. Facilities upgrades significantly enhance education environments and accessibility. 4 student hoist lifts were successfully replaced at Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy, ensuring safe and modern support for students with physical disabilities. At Purvis Parish School, Year 3, Year 6 classrooms and the art room were reconfigured with innovative glass partitions to support flexible 21st century learning spaces. Additionally, the refurbishment of Lyceum Preschool was completed as part of the transformation of Francis Patton into a parish school with temporary relocation managed effectively and at no cost to the families. These improvements reflect a commitment to inclusive, modern, and student-centered learning environments. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has identified 2 strategic priorities for the upcoming fiscal year: the upgrade of CCT systems across all schools. This initiative is aimed at significantly enhancing campus security. It includes the integration of advanced features such as facial recognition technology, license plate readers, and the establishment of centralized CCTV monitoring from the department's central offices. Ongoing support for education reform unit initiatives. The facilities unit will continue to play a central role in supporting the vision for education reform and school transformation, particularly in executing refurbishment projects at parish schools. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has 3 performance measures, which all focus on school safety. The target set of 100% of the performance measures for conducting annual safety inspections was achieved, and the outcome of school fire drills exceeded by 25%, reaching a 100% success rate. The outcome for compliance with Safety and Health Committee regulations was 80% against an expected target of 100%, with improvement needed in the submission of Safety and Health Committee minutes. Mr. Chairman, the department remains steadfast in its commitment to ensuring safe school environments and strengthening the operational infrastructure of the public education system, recognizing that safe, functional, and future-ready learning environments at current and transformed schools are fundamentally delivering quality education and improving student achievement outcomes. 27050, IT support. Mr. Chairman, for the fiscal year 25-26, the IT section has been allocated $2,698,000. This budget supports the salaries of key IT personnel, including an IT manager, computer services officer, management systems officer, and IT officers who are accountable for defining and delivering IT strategy and capabilities for the Ministry and Department of Education and the Bermuda Public School System. These responsibilities include data analytics and business intelligence development, support, infrastructure security, technical services to support and enhance user experiences. The department's IT department is also responsible for giving oversight and direction to IT and business leaders on strategy, standards, and opportunities for shared services and economies of scale. This fiscal year, the IT unit made significant strides in modernizing and enhancing technological landscape to support system priorities. Enhancements were made to the telephone system network with a pilot launch of a mass notification system designed for emergency and daily communication, and the data center continued its evolution towards a hybrid and distributed computing model, creating a more robust framework for educational services. Additionally, Wi-Fi 6 upgrades began at Victor Scott and West Pembroke schools, with broader enhancements improving connectivity in low coverage areas. Wi-Fi 6 is the next generation of Wi-Fi, which improves the network, ensures the support for faster, more efficient internet speeds for multiple devices using instruction and assessment. The IT unit also continued to configure and distribute laptops to authorized users across BPSS, supporting instructional and administrative needs, also in support of signature learning programs. Training on the PowerSchool Navient platform was maintained and expanded. Security also remained a top priority, with continued upgrades on enterprise IT security services and ongoing user awareness training. Online services were enhanced through the implementation of user account management tools, automating patching systems, bolstering operational efficiency. Mr. Chairman, this unit had 5 performance measures assigned and all outcomes were achieved. Looking ahead to the 25-26, the IT section will prioritize supporting the Education Reform Unit, parish primary schools, and signature learning programs while initiating a transformative lift in IT support personnel roles, from break-fix responsibilities to becoming education solution enablers. The team will continue with the distribution of Chromebooks to students and laptops to department and ministry staff to reinforce a connected and mobile learning model. A strong emphasis will be placed on maturing IT operations, refining service delivery and monitoring tools, and further integrating the PowerSchool ecosystem, including increased enterprise reporting and introduction of AI tools. Wi-Fi 6 upgrades will be expanded across additional locations, and enterprise backup systems will be implemented as part of a broader disaster recovery strategy. The department will also extend pilot programs for digitization and the mass notification system, furthering its commitment to modernization and operational resilience. 1704 preschools. Mr. Chairman, moving on to page B139, the total budget for 10 preschools for the fiscal year 25-26 is $5,001,000. A significant portion, 94%, is allocated to staff salaries. The remaining 6% covers essential operational costs such as resources, training, development, electricity, part-time cleaning services, telecommunication, office equipment, and drinking water. In 24-25 academic year, early childhood development efforts focused on strengthening teaching and learning through the full implementation of the Creative Curriculum Kindergarten CCK, targeted professional development, and enhanced use of student data to inform instruction. Educators receive comprehensive training on curriculum delivery, assessment tools, inquiry-based learning, and classroom management strategies to support school readiness and diverse learning needs. Notable achievements included increased educator proficiency, improved student engagement, and the successful reintroduction of preschool summer program, providing both educational support and after-school care for families. Mr. Chairman, our preschool focus on improved student proficiency in literacy, math, and developmental goals, with many preschools showing strong student progress towards curriculum targets. Family engagement was strengthened through initiatives such as home learning programs, garden projects, and school events, all implemented with minimal cost and strong community support. Schools also emphasize wellness, sustainability, and curriculum fidelity, supported by staff development and creative use of resources. Additionally, several preschools reallocated funds and formed partnerships to expand programs in music, physical education, and health, enhancing both equity and learning experience for students. Mr. Chairman, the performance measures related to early childhood education and instructional quality. The performance of preschool students who met established standards for literacy and numeracy exceeded expectations, with an outcome of 95% against a target of 90%. Similarly, 92% of preschool children met the system standard for social emotional physical and cognitive development, surpassing the target of 90% with respect to instructional quality. 80% of classrooms observed during instructional rounds met the established indicators and criteria, achieving the targeted performance level. These outcomes reflect the effectiveness of the current strategies and the dedication of our educators in delivering high quality learning experiences. In 25-26 academic year, the 25-26 academic year will prioritize the strategic strengthening of early education or childhood education, ECE, through targeted reorganization, expanded early intervention services, and leadership development. Key initiatives include introducing wraparound support services for preschool age children, improving interdepartmental collaboration, and enhancing communications across ECE teams. Emphasis will be placed on increasing curriculum fidelity through continued professional development, improving classroom observation and documentation practices, and formalizing leadership succession planning to build capacity and sustain school improvement efforts. 1705 primary schools. Mr. Chairman, continuing on page B139, the budget for 15 primary schools for the fiscal year 25-26 stands at $32,151 million. Mr. Chairman, this academic year, primary schools across the island demonstrated notable achievements through strong community partnerships, service learning, and high levels of student engagement. Schools engaged in meaningful outreach such as homelessness education, support for seniors, environmental initiatives, and charitable giving while fostering academic and personal growth. Highlights include award-winning gardening and woodworking projects, literacy improvements, successful sports performances, and vibrant cultural celebrations. These efforts reflect a growing culture of compassion, innovation, and community connection, with students applying their learning beyond the classroom to make a positive impact. Mr. Chairman, I would like to present the performance measures for primary level student achievement in reading, writing, and mathematics. For students in year 4 through year 6, 60% achieved the targeted growth in reading, meeting the established benchmark. In summative writing assessments, 55% of students from year 3 to year 6 achieved the score of 3 or higher, slightly below the target of 60%. Similarly, in mathematics, 65% of year 3 through year 6 students achieved the score of 3 or higher, falling short of the 70% target. Additionally, data is currently being finalized for the percentage of students from year 2 through year 6 in each school who achieved at least one grade level of growth based on the Common Systems Math Assessment, with targets set at 70%. These results provide valuable insights into areas of progress and those requiring continued interventions, focus, and support.
For the benefit of the listening audience, we are now in the Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates and revenue for the expenditure for the year 2025-2026. Honorable Minister Diallo Rubain is delivering the budget for the Ministry of Education. He is now on head 17.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 1706 Special Schools. Mr. Chairman, continuing on page 139, Business Unit 27120, Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy, or better known as Dame, provides dedicated educational and therapeutic services to students with severe and profound learning disabilities and complex care needs. Our only special school provides students with an enriching education and developmental support, increases student independence, and helps students to achieve their full potential. In response to increasing student needs, a major achievement was the formation of the Education Therapy Team in October 2024, initiated by Student Services, which provides evidence-based interventions. DAME also reinstated staff coaching and strengthening their decision-making process through reliable data collection and intervention fidelity. A vital ongoing achievement for DAME was the continued partnership with Friends of Hope Academy Charity 722, which generously supported the school's arts education program. This initiative plays a critical role in nurturing cognitive and creating development among students. Arts education at DAME flourished through key collaborations with Mr. Jabri Wilson. In partnership with Solstice, led weekly art sessions using a compassionate and inclusive approach. His guidance not only met diverse student needs through adapted media and techniques, but also contributed to student success in the primary school art exhibition. Further artistic successes were demonstrated at the annual exhibition, where students earned multiple awards, including first, second, third place, and highly commended recognitions. The dance therapy program, in collaboration with the Bermuda School of Music, thrived under the direction of dance movement therapist Ms. Hannah Walters. Her sessions supported students' emotional, social, cognitive, and staff at Dame focused on several key areas. Staff received training on writing effective incident reports and understanding mandatory reporting procedures. Crisis intervention plans were reviewed and refined to better meet current needs. Additionally, staff participated in crisis prevention and intervention training designed to build the necessary attitudes and skills for managing challenging behaviors and maintaining a safe learning environment. A strong emphasis was placed on ensuring that all staff were either newly trained or received refresher training to respond effectively to the nuanced behavior needs of students. Dame will continue to focus professional development efforts on addressing the diverse needs of students in the upcoming school year. Mr. Chairman, the performance measures for this unit relate directly to the IEP process, which maps out individualized, personalized goals for students. Both targets for performance measures were achieved at 100%. Mr. Chairman, a total of $1,166,000 has been allocated to Dame, an increase of $588,000. 1707 Middle School. Mr. Chairman, we'll now turn to page B140 for middle schools. The 25-26 budget allocation for the 3 middle schools is $13,568,000, reflecting a decrease of $1,101,000. This decrease is due to mainly a reduction in the remaining positions at Clearwater Middle School. Mr. Chairman, for the reporting period of 23-24, the target for M1 to M3 students achieving targeted growth in reading was set at 60% with an actual outcome of 55%. Improving reading proficiencies remained a key priority across all grade levels. Targets also established for M3 to M2 student performance for end-of-year mathematics and writing assessments, aiming for 60% of students to achieve a score of 3 or higher in each subject area. The actual outcome showed that 55% of students met this benchmark in both math and writing. The department, in close collaboration with schools, remains committed to strengthening instructional practices and interventions to improve student outcomes in these critical subject areas. Mr. Chairman, selected students at the middle school level are taught the City and Guilds curriculum. The target was set at 90% pass rate for students sitting the City and Guilds. Mr. Chairman, 85% of the students taking City and Guilds assessments at middle school level pass the English and math assessments. Mr. Chairman, some middle school students also take IGCSE examinations early. They take these international examinations toward the end of the M3 year rather than the end of S2 year at our senior schools. Mr. Chairman, a target of 85% of these students passing IGCSE examinations for English and mathematics was achieved. 1708 senior schools. Mr. Chairman, continuing on page B140, senior schools provides grants for Cedar Bridge Academy and the Barkley Institute. Total budget allocation for 25-26 is $31,370,000. Mr. Chairman, each senior school is provided with an annual grant for the operational management for their respective schools. For the fiscal year 25-26, Cedar Bridge funding increased by $911,000. The Barkley Institute's total budget has risen by $1,572,000. These increases are to fund salary uplifts and additional posts for both schools to support signature learning programs. I'm pleased to report that the Barkley Institute successfully passed its midterm accreditation report with the Middle School States Association in December 2024. This achievement was a direct result of the dedication, hard work, and commitment of the entire Barkley team, especially the internal accreditation coordinators. Passing this critical milestone affirms the school remains steadfast in maintaining the standards of excellence expected by Middle States, while continuing to meet the needs of their students. Mr. Chairman, Cedar Bridge Academy is currently in the process of collecting and preparing accreditation documentation for the Middle States Association, and we anticipate their success as well. Additionally, in 24-25, Cedar Bridge Academy demonstrated a strong commitment to professional learning through 2 major initiatives aimed at enhancing teaching and learning. One of the most impactful efforts was a 4-month professional learning series entitled Supporting Struggling Students. In response to data highlighting academic and social challenges among students, 30 teachers participated in this targeted professional development. The series was based on the work of educational expert Robin Jackson and focused on Tier 1 interventions in relation to the MTSS framework to proactively support all learners. Throughout the program, teachers engaged in reflective discussions, and adopted evidence-based strategies as they successfully integrated into their daily teaching practices. As a result, participating educators reported noticeable improvements in student engagement and achievement. Another significant milestone was the launch of the Creation Station, a cornerstone of the school's ongoing school transformation initiatives. This dynamic facility brings together the school's library, multimedia center, and an innovation makerspace designed to transform classroom learning into hands-on experience. The makerspace serves as a collaborative environment where students and teachers work together on real-world projects that bridge theory and practice. Supported by a dedicated makerspace teacher, facility design learning experiences that evolve modern tools such as 3D printers and a variety of crafting materials. Students create meaningful artifacts that reflect their learning and deepening their understanding through practical application. The Creation Station exemplifies the school's vision for inspiring creativity, critical thinking, and innovation across the curriculum. Mr. Chairman, the performance outcomes for senior schools reflect a mix of achievement and areas requiring targeting improvement. Students scoring 3 or higher on writing assessment reach an outcome of 45%, below the target of 50%. The target for students achieving expected growth in reading was 45%, which was met. College acceptance rates surpassed expectations, with 65% of students gaining admission compared to the 60% target. In the City and Guilds assessment for English and math, students perform above target with a 91% pass rate versus 90% goal. However, only 45% earned the City and Guilds employability skills certification, falling significantly short of the 100% target. For IGCSE students met the targets in English, math, and science, achieving a respective 60, 50, and 50% benchmarks. Advanced placement exam performance was notably below expectations, with only 4% of students scoring 3 or higher compared to the 80%. On a positive note, 97% of students graduated with a Bermuda School diploma, exceeding the 92% target. The cohort graduation rate from S1 to S4 was 91%, surpassing the 85% goal, while 85% of graduates earned an external or internationally recognized credential, slightly below 90%. The same percentage also graduated with 1 or more industry recognized credentials, again, just on the 90% benchmark. 1709 Curriculum and Assessment. Mr. Chairman, staying on page B140, the Curriculum Assessment section covers funding for the Cambridge International Curriculum, City and Guilds, Penn Foster, and system-wide reading assessments, career pathways, and dual enrollment program, and all related resources. The Department of Education annually invests in the Cambridge International Curriculum, enabling primary, 6, and middle school students to undergo checkpoint diagnostic assessments and sit the IGCSE exams, the last of which are required to obtaining a Bermuda School diploma. Mr. Chairman, student performance on diagnostic and standardized assessments provides critical data that informs instructional planning, highlights areas requiring targeted intervention, and supports the continuous improvement on teaching, learning, and service outcomes. 27020, Assessment and Evaluation. Mr. Chairman, we are in our 11th year of administrating Cambridge assessments and examinations. All Cambridge assessments, City and Guilds, and assessment and reading assessments are funded by this business unit. The allocated budget on the continued delivery of assessment and evaluation is $513,000. 27520, Design, Development, Implementations. Mr. Chairman, through the Design, Development, Implementation Business Unit, the Department of Education is dedicated to enhancing educational outcomes through comprehensive programming and skilled officers. This unit focuses on math interventions, language arts, science, social sciences, foreign languages, the arts, ICT, and physical education, and health curricular deliverables, ensuring consistent curricular delivery. Mr. Chairman, the budget for this business unit is $2,135,000 and includes funding for 7 substantive curriculum officers. Mr. Chairman, each officer and program plays a crucial role in the mission to provide a well-rounded and effective education system. The work supports academic achievement and prepares students for personal growth and global citizenship. during the 24-25 academic year. Key subject areas advanced through curriculum alignment, student engagement, and targeted professional development. Science focused on standardized assessments and centralized tracking of student unit assessment results. Inquiry-based learning experiences were implemented across the system. On World Water Day, inquiry-based instruction will be further expanded in 25-26. Social studies promoted real-world application and civic engagement via community partnerships and events. Future plans include cross-departmental environmental themes and piloted hybrid assessments. The arts saw high school students participate in national recognition, raising over $11,000 through Spring into the Arts. Instructional technology enhanced digital therapy and teacher effectiveness in Schoology modules. AI and cyber hygiene education and expanded access to coding and robots. Physical education and health launched revised standards and integrated technology through delivery of the Spark PE curriculum and wellness partnerships. Reading implemented the University of Florida Initiative phonics program system-wide and used Gates McGinty pre- and post-assessments to measure progress on student growth. Foreign languages focused on professional development adopted the country pedagogical method for strengthening instruction. Together, these achievements reflect a comprehensive effort to modernize education and support holistic student development. 27524 College Career Pathways. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been budgeted $453,000. This business unit funds the Employability Skills Program, the Certified Nursing Assistant Certification, and EMT certification at Bermuda College. This cost center covers the cost of the leadership management of 2 college and career pathways officers. In addition, this cost center covers the salary of the applied science technology instructor for dual enrollment students in the trades and STEM programs at Bermuda College. Mr. Chairman, I am delighted to share an exciting initiative reflective of our commitment to enhancing education in Bermuda. In early 2025, the Department of Education partnered with the Bermuda Chess Association to launch a long-term chess and in education strategy aimed at empowering educators to use chess as an effective teaching tool. Skills attained emphasize critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration. Alongside these skills, chess fosters essential life skills such as impulse control, perseverance, empathy, and the ability to foresee challenges. In March 2025, the Bermuda Chess Association hosted 24 dedicated educators from 14 primary middle schools for the inaugural Chess and Education Seminar from March 3rd to the 5th. All participants successfully earned a school instructor designation from FIDE, the World Chess Governing Body. These schools have successfully established chess clubs and have begun integrating chess into classroom activities. Looking ahead, schools are committed to achieving accreditation from FIDE Education Commission with the goal of being recognized as gold, silver, or bronze chess schools. Mr. Chairman, the program is not just teaching chess, it is fostering critical thinkers and problem solvers. 1712, Early Childhood Education. Mr. Chairman, page 140, this business unit, ECE, has been budgeted $2,744,000. This business unit also covers education, also covers the child development program and after-school program. Early childhood education is a foundation pillar in shaping the future learning and development of our children. This section includes early childhood special education, quality assurance reflecting our unwavering commitment to transforming early childhood education through innovative strategies. It also underscores our dedication to ensuring that every child is afforded the best possible start in life. Early childhood education is vital for lifelong learning and development as it builds foundational cognitive, social, emotional, and physical skills. High quality early education fosters curiosity, language, numeracy, and social competence, developing and helping to reduce educational disparities through equitable access. Research shows it delivers long-term benefits such as better health, higher graduation rates, and increased economic productivity, making it both a moral and economically sound investment. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 27175, Child Development, has been budgeted $2,617,000. The Child Development Program, or CDP, under this business unit continues to serve as a vital pillar of support within our early childhood framework. This program provides essential funding for the dedicated professionals who work diligently to uphold accreditation standards and enhance the quality of services offered to the parents of Bermuda's youngest children. Despite existing human resource constraints, the program successfully served 569 children and their families during the past fiscal year. Services provided range from developmental screenings to early intervention support, underscoring the program's comprehensive approach to child development. CDP continues with its efforts to recruit staff to deal with the extended wait lists resulting from the growing demand for these critical services. In 24-25, key priorities focused on improving service deliveries and operational efficiency. Efforts included maintaining accreditation, reviewing and updating job descriptions, recruiting for 5 vacancies, 1 filled in July 24, the other expected by August 25. And to meet rising demands, the Development Assessment Service was expanded by contracting 3 psychologists, and counseling services were strengthened through strategic partnerships to ensure quality support for families and children. The Child Development Program advances commitment by performing performance quality improvement during the reporting period by enhancing service delivery and client outcomes. Key achievements included training staff, implementing updated individualized family service plans, revising all client forms, and improving data collection and reporting methods. Audits of referrals and wait lists were conducted to improve service access and timeliness. New file audit metrics and screening policies were introduced, and a structured annual screening registration process was implemented. Collaborating with the digital transformation team, CDP digitized several key forms via the government portal, improving efficiency and accessibility for both clients and staff. The CDP conducted targeted internal staff training to support professional development and enhance service quality. Training topics included boundary setting, accreditation standards, brain development, prenatal trauma, client journey mapping, IFSPs, client observations, and risk prevention. These sessions strengthened staff skills, resulting in better alignment with practices with best standards and improvement of effective support for families and children. Mr. Chairman, during the reporting period, CDP continued to demonstrate strong outcomes in developmental screening services and family interventions services for behavior. A total of 366 children between the ages of 18 and 48 months received developmental screenings, enabling the early identification of potential development concerns. Although this outcome is under the expected target of 200 screenings for 2.5 officers, it reflects good progress being made. Additionally, CDP maintained a high standard of service delivery in early intervention for behavior, with 100% of clients who were assigned or deemed eligible successfully receiving early intervention services. Notably, 100% of these clients demonstrated measurable progress toward their early intervention goals, reflecting the effectiveness of the program's tailored, family-centered approach. The performance measure for the percentage of families participating in parent education classes and groups is on pause while CDP prepares to shift to a more personalized approach for different levels of parent support. Mr. Chairman, for 25-26, CDP's priority areas will be recruitment for current vacancies, especially for the critical post of early intervention case manager, fulfilling their responsibilities of accreditation and continuing the performance quality improvement process. 2700 after preschool care. Mr. Chairman, this business unit has been budgeted $127,000. This budget covers the payment costs for after preschool care workers and after school care program for Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy. Mr. Chairman, I now refer you to page B149, subjective analysis of current account estimates for the Department of Education. This page provides an aggregate of the detailed line item expenditures previously mentioned, and the variances of significance for the categories are as follows. Overall salaries increased by $2,019,000 or 105%. Training costs are $111 or 27% higher, and travel costs increased by $47,000 or 261%. Transportation costs increased by $10,000 or 25%. Communication costs increased by $102,000 or 17%. Professional services increased by $1,587,000 or 113% due to a big portion of increases for funding for schools, psychology, Dame Marjorie Bean Hope Academy, and child development program. Rental costs increased by $434,000 or 62% due to a significant portion of funds allocated to the Department of Education relocating to a new office separate from the Ministry of Education. Repair and maintenance costs increased by $237,000 or 13% due to an increase in building repairs and maintenance. Energy costs increased by $325,000 or 35% due to an estimated cost of electricity for new office location. Materials and supplies expenditure is $373,000 or 23% higher due to increase in purchases of inventory, educational supplies, and office and stationery supplies. Grants and contributions increased by $3,254,000 or 11% due to support for schools in transition and transformation. Mr. Chairman, pages B142 and B143 show 1,082 FTE posts, an increase of 35 FTEs compared to 24-25. Most of these relate to the increase in paraprofessionals, substitute teachers, and educational officers. Mr. Chairman, pages B144 and B147 list the performance measures for the Department of Education. These measures reflect the priority areas that will be monitored and for which school and department staff will be held accountable during the school year. Mr. Chairman, I wish to express my appreciation to the Department of Education and all school staff for their contribution to both education reform and school operations for the last year. As we move into 25-26 fiscal year, we look forward with optimism to the continued progress and achievements that will be advanced our collective vision of establishing a 21st century world-class public education system that serves the needs, passions, and aspirations of Bermuda's children. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation for Head 17 and Department of Education. I'll now move to the budget estimates for Head 41, Bermuda College.
Thank you, Minister. For the benefit of honorable members and the listening audience, we are now in Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditures for the year 2025-2026. Minister Diallo Urbain has given a report for the budget for the Ministry of Education. He has just concluded Head number 17. This debate started at 10:36. It will conclude at 4:06. And he is now on to Head 41. Minister, you may resume.
Head 41, Bermuda College. Mr. Chairman, Bermuda College's mission is to provide the community with innovative programs, training, support services, and access to partnerships that lead to local and global success. It demonstrates its commitment to the success of its diverse student body by offering transfer programs leading to success at the university level, professional and technical training leading to success in the workforce, and preparatory programs leading to success in the classroom. Mr. Chairman, as found on page B148 of the 25-26 financial year, Bermuda College has been allocated an annual grant of $15,573,410 by the Ministry of Education as last year with an additional capital grant of $500,000 for campus maintenance and upgrades. Mr. Chairman, the college is led by President Mr. David Sam and a board of governors chaired by Mr. Nasir Wade that maintains high standards as an accredited institution by the New England Commission of Higher Education, or NECHI, and is working towards reaccreditation in 2026 to continue offering top-notch education. Mr. Chairman, notable achievements for the past year include the success of the dual enrollment program with 41 participants this past year, with 7 dual enrollment programs graduating from the college before earning their high school diploma in May 2024. 4 students of excellence accepted the invitation and were inducted into the Pi Theta Kappa Honor Society, joining the other 67 who have been inducted since the college's chapter was established in 2019. The college also partners with organizations like BEST for environmental sustainability initiatives and hosts influential events like the annual Roche Science Week to engage the community in science and conservation. Mr. Chairman, significant education milestones were celebrated, including the graduation of 93 students across various disciplines. The college also graduated 4 students with bachelor's degrees in business administration in partnership with Mount St. Vincent University. Mr. Chairman, in May 2024, the Athora Professional and Career Education Division awarded 149 professional designations and workforce development certificates that included 9 public high school students who received a certification in nursing assistance as part of the Department of Education's dual enrollment program with the Bermuda College, underscoring the college's role in workforce development. Mr. Chairman, financially, the college's revenue comes from government grants, student tuition, and other sources totaling approximately $19 million. Salaries and benefits are also the most significant expense, accounting for 66% of the budget. The college also invests in campus improvements and educational resources supported by the Bermuda College Foundation, which contributes to scholarships, programming, and sustainability projects. Mr. Chairman, the Bermuda College Foundation plays a critical role in supporting and enabling the college's efforts to modernize its campus and programs. Bermuda is grateful to the donors who have supported the current Bermuda College Foundation fundraising campaign and shown their commitment to ensuring that all Bermuda residents have access to quality, relevant, and tertiary education right here at home. Mr. Chairman, Bermuda College's 50th anniversary has truly been a remarkable celebration and a proud milestone in our island's educational journey. The college launched its commemorative activities in July 2024, beginning with the placement of a commemorative stone in the courtyard and raising a newly designed Bermuda College flag to mark this historic occasion. To further honor its legacy and national significance, the college also commissioned a special 50th anniversary postage stamp. The highlight of the anniversary year was the Bermuda College's 50th anniversary gala held at the Hamilton Princess Hotel and Beach Club under the theme 50 Years, Transforming Lives and Imagining the Future. This event brought together alumni, students, faculty, community stakeholders in celebration. During the gala, 10 distinguished alumni were honored, 2 representing each decade of the college's history. Former presidents of the institution were also recognized, and Mr. Craig Simmons and Mr. Frederick Ming were officially conferred the title of Professor Emeritus. The celebrations continued with the publication of a Royal Gazette commemorative supplement showcasing the powerful stories of impact and achievement over the past 5 decades. Additionally, the college was featured in the Spring 25 issue of the Bermudian magazine's Crow's Nest section, offering a reflective and celebratory article on its journey. The college also hosted a 50th anniversary golf tournament, which brought together friends and supporters for a day of fellowship and fundraising. Mr. Speaker, the celebratory calendar will be rounded out by an alumni entrepreneur fair, a fitting tribute to Bermuda College's graduates' innovation, creativity, and economic contributions. Let us all take a moment to salute Bermuda College for 50 years of excellence, impact, transformation, and to wish it continued success for the next 50 years and beyond. Mr. Chairman, this now concludes my remarks for Bermuda College and my overall presentation for the 25-26 budget for the Ministry of Education, consisting of heads 16, 17, and 41.
Thank you, Minister. Minister Diallo-Rebane has concluded his presentation for the Ministry of Finance. The chair now is asking anyone else like to speak. Member from constituency 8, Smith South, Benjamin Smith, Barclayite. Shadow Minister of Education, you now have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. So, good afternoon, I should say. The first thing I'd like to do is actually take this opportunity to thank the minister that just finished reading that brief, and to the Minister of Education, because last night they actually sent me the brief in advance to give me an opportunity to read through it. That opportunity really works towards the collaboration that it takes for us as a community to prioritize that education is extremely important for us to move forward. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the minister, and thank you to Minister Rebane. I also would like to take this opportunity to say special thanks to Minister Rebane, who who stood in this position as the Minister of Education for a significant amount of time. I believe he might actually have been the longest serving Minister of Education of all time. That was not an easy role for him to hold for that amount of time. It is appreciated that he did that and continued to show the importance of education to our community. And in that position, he took hits several times for being in a position to stand up, because when the One Bermuda Alliance was the government, they started to talk about closing certain schools, and that same kind of venom that comes from people just from tradition of certain schools. But this minister was able to continue to stay there, and I just wanted to make sure that we showed appreciation for what he continued to do, and thank you for representing that position the way he did. So now, Mr. Chairman, going towards the questions that arose from listening to the brief that was presented this morning, I'd like to start off with Head 16 Ministry of Education Headquarters. We will start with on page B134. Just skimming through because some of my questions were obviously answered in the brief. So the under scholarships and awards, we do acknowledge that the government has continued to make sure that they're putting money aside for scholarships, knowing how important it is, especially in today's society, to get further education, and giving the support to people that need to have that has allowed many people to have opportunities that they would not otherwise have been able to have without having that financial support. So we appreciate that the government has continued to increase the level of support for scholarships. I know that the people who have been able to get achievements through that are very appreciative. But has the ministry had ability to track the success of scholarship recipients post-graduation, to evaluate the success of the program? As we continue to support our students, you give the financial backing, but do we have a way to assess whether there's a success that's coming from that investment? Can the minister please provide the breakdown of the numbers of students receiving scholarships? It would be important for us to have a breakdown of the different areas that people are reaching the point to get these awards. So, you know, what is the number that's coming from private schools? What is the number that's coming from public schools? What is the number that's coming from homeschooling? And then what is the number of recipients that are what I would call senior students that potentially are, you know, getting further education awards in order that potentially are coming out of that same award process? So if the minister could give us a breakdown of that, I think it would be helpful. And one of the reasons that I think that is important is that we have education that happens in Bermuda, both private and public. And the minister has rightly said several times that, you know, sometimes the private school children get a certain pass where public schools have to take on a more general part of the populace, and sometimes that has an impact on the need that is coming from that area. I think it's important that we identify that, and potentially what that means is that in the future it allows the minister to maybe ask for even more financial support so that we can get more of our young people that need financial backing to receive financial backing. So, Mr. Chairman, still on page B134, Education Reform Unit. So obviously this is an area that tends to pop up controversy because there's some issues that people believe when you are doing a reform. Anybody will tell you that when you are making major changes, not everybody is going to be in agreement, which causes some pushback. I will say that I've had the opportunity to meet with the reform unit. I thank the ministry for giving myself and Senator Victoria Cunningham that opportunity. We had the opportunity to ask any question that we wanted to. They gave us some detailed information on what has been happening. And some of the issues are when you're going through the reform, it is multiple layers that have to be supportive in order for those changes to happen. And some of the delays, are because parents might not be taking on the information. In some cases, there are people within the department that don't actually want to progress some of these things. And it's not a blame issue. It's really about, as you're going through change, that teething period sometimes causes delays that you can't really explain how it happens. But I know that through that conversation that we were able to have, and I know by some of the conversations that I have had with the minister, that this has been a frustration, that because not everybody understands all of the steps. And I do have to take this opportunity to say that the information has been sent out, right? So they have done several, I want to say there's been ads, they have had meetings, they have done multiple opportunities. But the truth is, if you want to get that information, you're going to have to go through the details to get to it. So with that, on the education reform specifically, would the minister be able to provide the specific deliverables that are expected for the education reform? So obviously what happens is, as you're going through it, people want to know what's happening each step of the way. And that sometimes is the piece that causes the frustration. So if we could get a little bit more detail on how those assessments are happening each year and how we will be able to get the information on those assessments of the reform, and in what methods that will be done, so that some of the anxiety that I think has been kind of in the community can be leveled out. The other question would be, because I know that there has been this engagement with public stakeholders, what has been that feedback from the public stakeholders that might not have matched where the reform has been moving? And with that feedback that has been given, what changes have actually been made with the reform based off of the feedback? Because as you're making these major changes, sometimes you have to change. I think the minister has actually said it several times here. You have to make sure you've measured a few times before you cut. And this problem in education didn't just start. So this has been a long process up to this point. And honestly, it's going to be a long process going forward. And as you're going through it, obviously these frustration points, these hot points are going to happen. But as we are going through it, we have to make sure that we are communicating every way that we can, so that the students, the parents, and the community at large are going along on this journey in a way that they feel that it is being collaborative. And I make that statement not saying that it hasn't been collaborative, but the more detail we can give in this situation, I think it will be even more helpful to the community. Because I will make a comment that it's interesting, because the ministers actually made this statement more than the previous ministers made this statement a couple of times when it comes to the consultancy, right? This is another one of those topics that comes up. You have to get expert advice sometimes in order for us to do something at the vast scale of this reform. So knowing that you've had that expertise, you wouldn't expect to take the information and then never speak to that group again. It is going to have to be something that they're going to continuously be a part of. There's going to be a cost associated with that. But in our conversation with them, one of the things that was brought up that this is actually a group that's a charity. And I had that conversation with them. And it's interesting because I'm pretty sure that even though the ministers repeated it, most of the community probably haven't taken that part in. This is about them working towards helping education, helping young people. And the more that we can get this information out on how this reform is going to work and how we can get to the best results for our young people, for this point, and really when it comes to education, Mr. Chairman, you would have heard me say before, it's not about putting politics when it comes to education. We need to figure out how do we get to the best result for the next generation. We have had the ability to go through what I would say was a period of world-class education, and we want to ensure that the future generation gets the same opportunity. So, Mr. Chairman, on page B135, there is, under grants and contributions, I'm just looking at the difference between, so the original for 24-25 was $2,138,000, but the revised is $3,130,000. So although there has been an increase from the original to what we are estimating for 25-26 of $315,000, it doesn't actually match how much was needed in this past year. So I'm just wondering if that is a gap that was necessary. Why don't we try to get the finances to the level that was needed in 24-25, in 25-26? Or is something changed, which means that they don't need the same amount of support? So if we could just some clarification on that, that would be helpful. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to now go on to Head 17, Department of Education. And Mr. Chairman, I'm going to start with on page B138 under 27095 school attendance. So, Mr. Chairman, in the 2022-23 numbers, it was 381,000, but the budgeted number was 0. And then for 2023-24 and 2024-25, there seems to be a discrepancy between what we budget and then what happens. There's a cost that happens afterwards. So I'm just trying to figure out, why is it that we budget for a low number and then the actual, there is a cost? Is there something that's changed in there that we could get some clarification on why that happens? So in that specific area, if the minister can give us some details on the employees that are involved with following up with attendance breaches. And the reason I ask that specifically is because if the budget number is 0 and then the budget number happens, what is that difference coming from? Is it that these people are only hired on a part-time basis? If we could just get some clarity on what is causing that. if the minister could provide how many students in the last year were on, I guess, what we would call prolonged absence. They were away from school for a significant amount of time. I don't know what the gauge is to make it an excessive absence, but if we could get some details on what that is, and if there was a problem in primary and in secondary and middle school numbers that were impacted by students being away from school for a significant amount of time. And what is the process for dealing with a student that is absent for a long time? Is there a check-in phase? Is this when we have these employees go out and knock on doors and actually find out where this student is? So if we could get some details on that, and if they find that there are students that are absent on an ongoing basis, what is the way to resolve that? And if that is the case, how often are we able to resolve it? Considering that it's mandatory for students to go to school, do we find that there is becoming more of a kind of gray area because there are students that are leaving school and going into homeschooling, and there's students that are leaving school and taking their GED? Has that caused a bit of difficulty for the system to be able to gauge where these students are and whether they are actually attending school? And when they transition away from what would be much easier to monitor to these other agencies, is that causing a significant increase in what is necessary for finding out where they are? So, Mr. Chairman, the next area that I'd like to look at is under substitute teachers. And that is 27160, still on B138. So obviously this has been an issue that has been, big for quite a few years now. We've had issues where there were not enough substitute teachers. I see that the government is now giving money towards substitute teachers, but there seems to be an issue because each year there seems to be an increase in the amount of substitute teachers that are necessary. We have had several schools closing, so you would think that now we would have more teachers that are potentially available as they shift from one school to the other. So is there some issue within that transition that is causing, a lack of teachers being available? So in 2023, 2024, Mr. Chairman, the original was $3,640,000 for this line item, and then it was revised to $4,071,000. But the actual in this year's book shows $6,894,000, which is a significant difference from the original budgeted amount. And this is why I'm bringing up the fact that there seems to be a significant need for substitute teachers compared to what I guess would be planned for. So something has caused this large increase. I know that at one point, part of it was changes in needing teachers that were going to be participating in some of the reform, but I believe that some of those changes happened last year so that there would not be as much strain. But with that said, there's a significant increase in the budget from the original budget for 24-25 and for 25-26. Over $1 million is a significant number, but the actual revised number was $9 million. So once again, we're budgeting for a lower number than what the actual is. So I'm just looking at it and saying, if that's the case, should we be anticipating that we're going to need more money, more support for substitute teachers. And although I would say everybody in education is going to be happy that there has been an increase, but if the increase is not going to match the demand, we're going to be in the same situation a year from now. And what I know all of us don't want is to hear the stories of certain classes not having the actual amount of teachers that are necessary while we're going through the school year. So continuing on with the thoughts on the substitute teacher, is there an opportunity to have a bigger reserve pool of substitute teachers? And if that is, it's difficult because you have to have the reserve pool so that if we run into this critical situation, but it would mean that you would have to have budgeted for this so that because it's going to happen. Teachers are humans, so they're going to fall sick. They're going to have to go on leave for certain things. And in that context, you keep ending up with this number. So just asking if we could get some clarity on that, and if the ministry has thought about ways to solve this problem, because this is not the first time that we've had this conversation. And until we come up with something that's going to be able to resolve this, we probably will continue to be having this particular conversation. So still under substitute teachers 27160, I'm going to ask a question on whether we are seeing more teachers on administrative leave, which is also impacting the number of substitute teachers that are needed. And in that context, giving us some clarity on what would cause that administrative leave. And if we are seeing teachers in that category, which is increasing the demand for substitute teachers, who's responsible for the investigation of, a teacher being on administrative leave? What is the length of time? What is the, average length of time that an investigation has to go on? And for me, I don't want to say that I know the detail, because the information that I have is only based off of what some teachers have said is happening in certain schools where teachers are out on administrative leave while that investigation goes on. We have to have a substitute teacher for an extended period of time in that classroom, which obviously impacts the students in that class because they are having to have a different teacher, and it causes that interruption. If there is a way for us to speed up that process, is that something that's being looked at so that we can make sure that our teachers, especially if at the end of the investigation, the teacher is going right back into that classroom, is there a way that we can prevent long periods of time from teacher being impacted and the students in that classroom being impacted and having to have a substitute teacher there during that period of time? Mr. Chairman, I think it's become the buzzword now, mental health. So this is another one of those areas that potentially is what is impacting the need for more substitute teachers. We've just come through the COVID period, which would have had a significant impact, not just on our students, but also on our teacher population. It was remote learning. It was learning completely different ways of being able to teach, and then coming back from that period with real changes in the student population. There have been significant changes in how students behave coming out of that COVID period. It has impacted society as a whole, but specifically a lot of the children were impacted. And then we are moving forward with an education reform, which also is causing interruptions, not just to the students, but also to teachers and teachers' lives. So that mental health impact potentially is another one of those issues that is causing teachers to be absent from school. So if the minister can give us some information on whether that is potentially one of the areas that he's seen an increase in, and I'm gonna bring this point up, that the the services that they have to go to try to help them when they're going through this kind of issue. There is funding that comes under the government health that gives them a certain amount of detail. I think it's $97 is what they get.
Shadow Minister, I'm gonna pause you right there. We are now at that hour where you're not recognized. I'm done. We are now at that hour where it's now 12:30. For the benefit of the listening audience and honorable members, we are now in Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2025, 2026. Shadow Minister of Education, Ben Smith, has been giving some very clinical questions to the minister, and this shall resume after lunch. So I now, the speaker, minister has to move.
Mr. Chair, I now move that we break for lunch and come back, resume at 2 p.m.
Thank you.